All right, so are you guys ready to move into uh, woke dinosaur territory? Is this something that you have been looking forward to? Yes, it's great to have you here, Wooly. Thank you for coming. Because science marches on. Old depictions become new depictions. Understandings grow and reconstructions change. The way that we view and depict the ancient world is especially subject to this as we learn more from the fossil record. This is probably no more prevalent than it is in the world of dinosaurs. Now, in the last 45 years, we've seen a great change in the way that dinosaurs were depicted. My childhood put me at the cusp of this, so it was very impactful for me as an individual to participate and be part of these changes that take place. So the dinosaurs of my childhood were slow and sluggish, and they died out because maybe they were dumb. Maybe they didn't. Maybe they couldn't compete. They were big, slow reptiles. Couldn't compete. Contend with the mammals. Couldn't contend with the changing environment. And died out because of that. Now, some of that obviously there's some retention, and I don't want to point any fingers, but among the boomers, that the reptilian stop motion claymation dinosaurs of the 60s and 70s are the superior model. They are masculine and amazing, and they are truly these mega movie monsters that are battling it out constantly on this primitive, what's the word I'm looking for? Not archaic, but let's say pre-Diluvian landscape. But they were animals. Bottom line, they were animals. They were animals, guys, and they did not live like that. They did normal things like normal animals do today. Yeah, we can watch the lions hunting the gazelle and battling at their territorial disputes. We can also watch their hours and hours of slumbering in the sun and playing with their cubs and grooming and social grooming and mating. And there's so much more to their lives than just watching them take down prey and fight with each other. And this upsets a few people. This was punctuated very, very recently, April 13th, as you can see on this timestamp, with this new series David Attenborough is doing about T-Rexes. Now, you see the depiction on the right here with the big sharp teeth and no lips, and then we have the T-Rex here with the lips that looks more like a real animal would, because it's the current idea is that dinosaurs probably had lips to cover their teeth. Yes, there are archosaurs who do not have lips, namely crocodilians, but due to their aquatic environment, they have a completely different ecological niche, and you can make an argument things like Spinosaurus may not have had lips, but there's no reason to believe that the theropods would not have had lips to help them retain saliva to keep their mouths from drying out for feeding efficiency. That's why we have lips. If you sit there with your teeth exposed, smiling all day, your teeth dry out, and it's bad for them, and they decay. Anyway, but we're calling this PC Rex. Today's episode is going to go over. I already see that this is 11:23, and I'm just now starting on this what I was most excited to talk about today. PC Rex. Sir David Attenborough's BBC One's dinosaur show presents softer, woke version of T-Rex. Woke Beeb bosses are to reframe the reputation of the terrifying Tyrannosaurus Rex, claiming the raptor had a bad rap. Tyrannosaurus Rexes are not raptors. They are not Maniraptorans, which is what an organism must be in order to be considered a raptor, which would, of course, place all modern birds into the raptor group. under that name Maniraptora. Also, the famous Velociraptor Deinonychus, Troodont, Microraptor Archaeopteryx. All these things are raptors, but you know who is not? The Tyrannosaurs. They are Cellulosaurs, and yeah. Anyway, in the show, Sir David Attenborough comes face to face with a gentler version of the dreaded T-Rex. And here's our old-timey depiction of T-Rex. That's the Jurassic Park T-Rex's head on there. All right. Through the magic of CGI, the documentary features host Sir David Attenborough coming face to face with a gentler version of the dreaded T-Rex. Director Matthew Thompson said, "The Predator often gets a bad rap on TV. They're shown as eating machines, as if that's all they really do. We wanted to show a different side of the creatures and come up with some storylines that are a little bit different and a little bit gentler." Executive producer Helen Thomas also wanted to counteract the image of dinosaurs by showing how mundane their lives were when they weren't ripping each other's throats out. I have a funny quote from her here. She said, "Predators tend to just fight all the time, and we wanted to show them pooing." BBC, pooing. We say pooping in the US. In the 90-minute special, which airs on BBC One tomorrow at 6:30 p.m., Sir David will showcase the findings of a team of paleontologists, so actual dinosaur doctors, dinosaur experts is whose findings he's going over. They were able to re-examine the final moments before the dinosaurs were wiped out by an asteroid hitting the Earth 66 million years ago. The team has shed new light on the cataclysm through the first discovery in a prehistoric graveyard of the fossilized remains of a dinosaur that was killed directly by the impact. So it's I haven't watched it yet, but yeah, there's a show coming out that I'm gonna have to watch it because I'm gonna have to after I do this, I'm gonna have to drop some kind of review on it. They have also unearthed a fragment of the destructive meteor perfectly preserved in amber, just like the dinosaur blood-carrying mosquitoes which feature in Jurassic Park. I think that's the full article on that. So that is what The Sun has released about the BBC documentary. So people went crazy about this, but it wasn't the first time, and we're going to get into some other tweets and stuff here in a minute. But this isn't the first time. Now, a couple of years ago, 2019, Sue, the T-Rex from the Field Museum, which I have been able to go see directly myself, had her on her Twitter account, or proxy Twitter account. It's not actually Sue. Obviously, the fossilized dinosaur is not tweeting itself, but the Chicago Field Museum involved a 67 million year old reptile in the culture war activism that harms science and degrades gender non-binary. Degrades the gender non-binary. Oh, this is from medium.com. Sue, a 40-foot-long Tyrannosaurus Rex, whose fossils remains presided over the magnificent Stanley Field Hall at Chicago's Field Museum from 2000 to 2018, has attained social justice enlightenment. And again, I saw Sue in 2018. She was closed off in like a wooden section while they were working on her new display. So I didn't get to see the new model yet, but it looks really cool. I've seen pictures of it. Never mind that she died millennia ago in what is now South Dakota, then an area of balmy floodplains abutting an inland sea. Taking a page from the Creation Museum playbook, the field administrators have decided to distort scientific understanding in pursuit of a political goal. No, they haven't. In recent years, through her social media persona, Sue has asserted her gender identity. It all started on Twitter on March 2017, reacting to a comment. Sue tweeted that her sex was unknown and that, like a human gender non-binary people, she should use they, them pronouns. Yeah, because we don't know whether Sue was male or female. It was early on. It was assumed that she was female based on some anatomical features, but that has further been put under scrutiny, and now there's an uncertainty regarding the sex of the specimen. So yeah, using they them, and it's just and having showing support for a marginalized portion of the community is not woke. It's not definitely not taking a page from the Creation Museum playbook saying that that non-binary people exist is not a creationist playbook. Saying that that if you don't know what sex an organism is, that you just say they them when referring to them in their actions. Yeah, that's not woke. Sorry, you don't understand how language works, medium.com. While it is true that her sex is indeterminate, this move conflates the exclusively human concept of gender and the incontrovertible reality of binary sex. Sue was either male or female. We don't know which. This purposeful misunderstanding has now made its way into her new exhibit. Opened on the museum's upper level in December of 2018, in a world where even some scientists claim erroneously that there is no such thing as biological sex, this sets a dangerous precedent. What scientist do you think is saying there's no such thing as biological sex? They're just saying that biological sex is not as binary as you seem to think it is. And those are scientists. So you're going to say scientists are erroneous. You need to present data for it, not just make the claim and run. In addition to informing visitors, the museum's patronizing move is in deeming Sue non-binary disrespects and misunderstands the very non-binary individuals it purports to help. Are you offended by Sue, my NB live chat? Ring, I see you're in here. Are you offended by Sue's NB status? I thought you'd be empowered by it. Yes, you have an ally in this amazing animal. It does not disrespect anybody. Legitimacy of their identity need not rest on inaccurate interpretations of science. It's not inaccurate. It's saying we don't know the sex of the organism, so there's no way to say that it is male or female. It is degrading to imagine that it should. The very concept of gender identity is as distinct from sex was created to assert that human male, female, and other identity expressions were facts which were mental, social, and not genital. You think sex is based solely on genitals? No, there's people with an assortment of genitals with various chromosomes that don't necessarily match the XX or XY that you generally associate with male or female genitals. It's not that simple. With apologies to Sue and her reptilian cousins, they simply don't have enough going on in their minds to express gender non-binary identities. Not to mention, we don't know anything about the mind of an animal whose brain rotted away maybe 1 million years ago, before the Chicxulub asteroid event wiped out the rest of the T-Rex species anyway. Anyway, I'm not going to read this whole thing, but that's just to say that this isn't the first time that dinosaurs have been accused of being woke. We're not going to read this one yet. What I have is some different tweets and stuff from different various social media sources, and a couple of magazines and stuff too. But let's see what the plebes have to say about woke dinosaurs. I'm going to run for office on a platform that'll remove all those gay dinosaurs with feathers from the museum display, and you know I'll win, because bro dudes are really pushing the notion that feathered dinosaurs are part of the gay agenda, that they are there to make the dinosaurs appear more gay, which is fine with me. I mean, I don't mind the feathered dinosaurs being used as a mascot for the LGBTQ community, for the gays specifically, as this tweet says. I don't mind that at all. Colorful animals to represent a movement is not a new concept. But no, we didn't put feathers on dinosaurs specifically for that. The feathers were discovered in the fossil record. Can I be honest? I kind of hate the new idea that dinosaurs had feather. Not a new idea, unless a new idea originated in the 1860s, because we've had feathered dinosaurs since then. 1860s is a long time for you to be calling it a new idea. I mean, the evidence that they have is basically peach fuzz on some fossilized bones. It's not peach fuzz, it's feathers, not peach fuzz. We actually have fossilized feathers, literal feathers. That's hardly enough to rewrite dinosaur books to make them into gay Sesame Street rejects. Nobody's raking them in. This is crazy because there's Dixie is this person's name. They have this really strong patriot American notion where half these people have a bald eagle as their avatar while they're complaining about feathered dinosaurs. Define irony. The bald eagle is a hyper masculinized feathered dinosaur that people on the right have worshipped for decades. This one here is the one that inspired me to make this my HiveScience today. I had something completely different. I had something completely different on the docket, and now I had to move it around because this came out and I wanted to strike while the iron was hot and get a response to these things before they gain traction. Are you ready for me to read this brain rot to you? Please sit down, grab yourself a cold drink, and listen to Man Baby. Okay, guys. So the new trailer for a TV series called Prehistoric Planet was released a few days ago, and just about every paleo nerd on YouTube has been creaming themselves over the scientifically accurate depictions of tyrannosaurs and raptors on the show, which is narrated by David Attenborough. Saying that I'm currently appealing an ideologically motivated permaban on Reddit and can't vent about it there. I wonder why you got banned from Reddit, my friend. I'll share my thoughts here instead, if the mods will permit me to rant. The pedantic obsession with scientific accuracy in our depiction of prehistoric life is taking all the fun out of our beloved dinosaurs. Because your beloved dinosaurs that aren't scientifically accurate did not exist. Scientists doesn't care about your fantasy of giant monsters that fight each other all the time. That's not what science wants to address. I understand that paleontologists don't want their field to be misrepresented, and that the entertainment industry believes it now has the responsibility to educate the public about such things. But come on. Yeah, we want an educated public who knows how these animals actually were, so that when I come on YouTube to engage with people, that they know what dinosaurs were actually like and not a Hollywood interpretation of them. Because it makes no sense for me to debate science with somebody who's debating fiction. Just because one clade of dinosaur might have gone on to develop feathers, that doesn't mean we will have to stick feathers on every damn theropod. Why would a creature as large as a Tyrannosaurus develop feathers anyway? It wouldn't have any use for them. This highlights another problem. The fact that the supposedly more accurate reconstructions look downright goofy compared to the reptilian aesthetic. I'm sorry that you feel that way. We have feathered reptiles today that look pretty awesome. Eagles, like I just said a few minutes ago, eagles look amazing. They are apex predators, most of the kings of the sky, the most efficient flying predators that we have in the world today. And they're flying dinosaurs with feathers. They're feathered dinosaurs. I bet you think eagles are pretty cool. I don't know you, but I bet you do. What else was I going to say? Yeah, as far as I'm not saying T-Rex had feathers, at least not a full plumage of feathers. It didn't. There's no real evidence to support that at this point. There are other tyrannosaurids that had feathers. I'm not saying that Tyrannosaurus Rex didn't have feathers either, at least some kind of feathers. There are a lot of use for feathers other than flight. They can be used for display. They can be used for thermoregulation. They can be used to protect nest. There are a few dozen different uses for feathers other than flying. And that's like saying an elephant's too big to have hair. But if you get close to an elephant, I promise you'll see hair there. So, yeah. Those who claim to prefer the feathered versions are no different than virtue signaling liberals who say, I prefer girls with curves. Who doesn't prefer girls with curves? Oh my goodness. And saying that you're not fooling anyone. Obesity isn't synonymous with beauty, and feathered dinosaurs certainly aren't synonymous with cool. But feathered dinosaurs can be cool. Again, reference eagles. If eagles aren't your thing, I referenced cassowaries. Cassowaries are feathered dinosaurs that are badass. If you're not into that, how about some penguins? Penguins are pretty wicked sea predators, and they are pretty badass. And in the water, they're amazing. I don't know if you know about how penguins interact under the water, but they're like amazingly gliding around and athletic and energetic. They're really cool feathered dinosaurs. There are so many feathered dinosaurs that are cool. Where was I? And as far as thick girls, I love thick girls. I love it. It's just my thing. It sucks, and all of us with eyes in our heads can see that. Anyone who says otherwise is a dirty, rotten liar. I guess you can call me a liar. They're taken to the most awesome creature that ever lived and turned them into a joke. No, it wasn't a creature that lived. The depiction that you have in your head is not a creature that lived. It wasn't a real thing. It wasn't a real animal. Your fantasy doesn't have any bearing here on how we should depict these organisms. They've taken the most awesome creature that ever lived and turned them into a joke, into the object of ridicule. Why? Why do you feel that way? They're supposed to be reptiles, and reptiles don't have fucking plumages. I beg to differ. I just named a whole slew of reptiles with feathers. Eagles are reptiles with feathers. Penguins are reptiles with feathers. Cassowaries are reptiles with feathers. Go stick some feathers on a crocodile and see how stupid it looks, because crocodiles are not dinosaurs. Dinosaurs have feathers, not crocodiles. So that's weird. Dinosaurs should not look like crocodiles. They should look like dinosaurs. Where was I? This highlights another problem. In fact, the supposedly more accurate reconstructions look downright goofy compared to the reptilian aesthetic. Disagree. Honestly, I effing love science types fawning over feathered dinosaurs make me sick. These are the same people who jizz their pants when they see a black woman with an afro in a cosmetic commercial. Afros can be sexy, sure. They know the rest of us hate it. You're the fringe, my friend. You're not the rest of us. You're the fringe. They know the rest of us hate it, and that's precisely why they love it. Dinosaurs haven't been around for 65 million years. They couldn't be less relevant. So why is it suddenly so damn important for kids to grow up seeing the retarded feathered depictions? Oh my God, the dromaeosaur without feathers. If little Jimmy sees this, he might die. They're not saying they might die. They want future generations to know what these animals actually looked like. It's okay for paleontology to march on, for paleo art to march on. And paleo art is what you're complaining about, not paleontology. You're complaining about paleo art, and paleo art is always changing. From the early depictions of antediluvian dinosaurs battling in a world of darkness covered with mucky seas, to Charles Knight's first attempts to try to create scientifically accurate depictions of these animals in Crystal Palace a few decades earlier, making the same efforts to our modern times through the Jurassic Park era and into where we are now seeing feathers being the more mainstream depiction of theropods. I shared these thoughts. Here's his final thoughts on it. I shared these thoughts with my mother, and she thinks it could be tied to the whole LGBT thing. Big carnivorous dinosaurs were pretty cool, pretty masculine, we might say. Why would covering them with feathers? What would covering them with feathers do? It would castrate them. No, because surprise, surprise, dinosaurs as diapsids did not have external testicles, so you cannot castrate a dinosaur. It would make them kind of gay. Why are feathers gay? Are eagles gay looking? Do you think that hawks and raptors and falcons and cassowaries and spoonbills and do you think these are and storks? Do you think these are gay animals? Do you think birds are gay? I think this is part of a wider societal trend that has been going on for many years now, where everything awesome that brings us joy has to be ruined. It's not ruined, it's more accurate. You are not making a good argument. You're like, why do things change? This is the thing people's like, oh, when Michael Bay redid the Ninja Turtles, it's ruining my childhood. No, it's creating a new childhood for another generation to love the same kind of stuff that you did, but just with an updated version of it for their generation. Now, when it comes to the reconstructions of dinosaurs, each generation has had a new set. And, starting in the 70s, you had the tail-dragging claymation dinosaurs living in swamps with volcanoes, living alongside cavemen. And then the 80s, we moved more towards scientifically accurate. They were less kangaroo stances in our theropods. They were more went from standing like this to standing vertically, like they would with their tails for a counterbalance. Then when the late 80s to early 90s, we started to see feathers taking place. So it's every generation we get a little bit better on the way we depict dinosaurs, and you are raging against that for no reason at all. These people get off on rubbing it in our faces, rubbing our faces in that shit. It's the only way they can feel better about themselves. Have a look and tell me what you think. Really? And I like this person in the side chat's the total chat. I sent this to him and let him know he was that I was doing this to the person who responded here, and they sent me a friend's request. A really cool person. Really? They were animals. You seem less educated than the people who study these for a living. So I'd basically shut your mouth and learn something. Secondly, LGBTQ thing, ban this crap person. Yeah, that was pretty cool of them. Thank you for being an ally. All right. Let me have this from a news magazine here. Tyrannosaurus Rex. Some researchers are determined to emasculate Tyrannosaurus, having spent decades fending off accusations that it was a lowly scavenger rather than a ferocious hunter of popular imagination. Now the tyrant lizard is facing another image crisis. As the feather revolution swept paleontology, experts began to ponder the Tyrannosaurus genus. Surely the most charismatic predator of all time could not have been fluffy. No plumage so far has been found on the 50-plus specimens of T-Rex unearthed across North America, but there are some intriguing clues coming from China. I'm not going to delve into this any more than that. I just wanted to take a second to read that about scientists emasculating Tyrannosaurus Rex by speculating that because its close relatives had plumage, that it may have had some level of plumage itself. There's no claim saying that it was fully covered in feathers. However, there is indication that it comes from a lineage that did have feathers, so the presence of feathers on the organisms cannot be discounted. Where they were, how they were displayed, and what purpose they served can only be speculated on at this point. But the Tyrannosaurus genus does indicate that it does have ancestry of feathered dinosaurs, and again, not speculative. It is inference based on evidence. What else do we got? Oh yeah, just some basic trolls. F gay feathers, of course. And then we have you got a 4chan here. Got a always provide the highest quality of content and opinions. Feathered dinosaurs are propaganda to make them seem silly and emasculine. Because conventional dinosaur reconstructions resemble dragons from traditional European folklore too much, and the Jews can't have young white boys idolizing those. The Jews. Okay, I'm guessing that this is a Q person, probably, but yeah, we got more. Are Jews running the museum industry now and the paleontology world? Is that the claim that we're making? Clearly, this feathered dinosaur thing is part of the gay agenda. Science ruined the dinosaurs. Ridiculous. Gay agenda because we found feathers in the fossil record. Were the scientists who found the feathers gay, or were they just pro-gay? I guess we'll find out. All right, and that's about it on the gay dinosaurs. Let me pop out to the side chat. I'm sorry that the show went on extra long today. I just had a lot to say about this. That's why homophobes punch all facts in the arm to see that they can take it. If not, the facts are considered gay. Yes, Scott Duke, facts can be gay. Once again, David Attenborough, narrator, plus John Favreau, director. Hans Zimmer, score. Constant Rabbit, fanboying from Rank. Yeah, this series looks freaking amazing. I haven't watched it yet, and I will give a opinion on it once it comes out. The author is really saying, I don't like it when people call me out on being wrong. None of us do, but try handling it with some modicum of decorum like an adult. Thank you, Maya. I'm also trying to keep my decorum. Prehistoric Planet just gave me the Attenborough, Favreau, Zimmer trifecta. I know, right? I'm so excited about this. Do they think that feathers are like Liberus cost? Yeah, the dinosaurs, when the dinosaurs come out, they grow feathers. I had something else tagged to talk about on this, and I may revisit it at some point. There's an episode of Prehistoric Rancher, which is a preschooler show in which a couple of gay Tyrannosaurus rexes are sad that they can't have their own eggs and using rocks for eggs and trying to take other dinosaurs' eggs because they want eggs of their own. It's a cute episode that really does punctuate acceptance, and people flip their lids about it because it's a children's show. But gay people exist, and I don't know why having gay characters in a kid's show is a problem unless you're trying to hide your kid from the fact that gay people exist, which is a weird thing to do because they're eventually going to find out that there are gay people. Particularly nasty weather. John Hudson, I hope you all are doing all right and staying safe. The Allosaurus and Arthur Conan Doyle's The Lost World was depicted as toad-like. Yes, that's a good, perfect example of how paleontology and fiction, I guess I should say. That's the main focus on here, how they're depicted in fiction. Because people are flipping their lids about the Jurassic Park theropods, too. There is I can't remember which species of raptor it is, but there's a raptor in there that is fully feathered. Yeah. All right, so thank you so much for joining me today. And I really appreciate all the love the Hive received from everybody in the side chat. And I hope that today's show was entertaining, a little something different. And I know, I did say it ran long. We're running up into noon now. 2.5 hours. Usually I keep the show under 2 hours, but this had to be talked about. This had to be addressed. I could not let this go unchecked. Gay dinosaur agenda. Let's make it a thing. Woke T-Rex is the. Oh gosh, I almost forgot to mention that the Sun, that headline they had, they spelled it capital T dash REX. It should be a period. That's binomial nomenclature. You take the genus name, the first letter of the genus name, put a period behind it, or you can spell the whole name out. But for T-Rex, it's you take the genus name, put a period behind it, and then type the word Rex in lowercase, REX. You do not put a dash between it. That's just not how binomial nomenclature is going to be presented. That's not correct. But thank you so much, everybody who came, and hung out with me today. Yeah, the gay penguins steal eggs. That's true. I had a meme of that as well that didn't quite make it on the cutting room floor, but there was a lot of anti-gay dinosaur stuff that was the cream of the crop, and some of the responses in the comments did include memes of gay penguins and things like that. I so dislike bigotry, including bigotry against trans people. I blame religion for being the source of a lot of bigotry. I agree with you, Randolph. I think that's a big problem. I think that we can move forward and move past these archaic ideas, and either the church can come with us or get out of the way. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. Please remember to be kind, take care, and we will see you next time.